Hi everyone, and welcome to your readings for this upcoming Mercury retrograde in Pisces. Mercury is going to be moving retrograde from this Tuesday, the 5th of March 2019, and will remain retrograde until the 28th, but you may already be feeling the effects of this transit. Now, normally, I take the view that a Mercury retrograde is no big deal, but with this one, it's slightly different because this retrograde is starting at 29 degrees Pisces, so it's in the final degree of the zodiac, possibly the most karmic degree of the zodiac. This is kind of death and rebirth almost. It's dissolution of the old, and it's the beginning of the new. And that means that we have a lot of release work to do, ideally before this retrograde gets underway. And then we move on from there. Really, during the period of Mercury retrograde, it's not an active phase. This is very, very important. It's a reflective phase. And we shouldn't be making any assumptions over this time. So I feel like a lot of people may be quite tense in advance of this already, a bit anxious, feelings going all over the place. So it's about being able to work with these energies, because this is part of our cycle. This is here to help us. Hi, Stardust and Cards. Hi, Nicole. It's lovely to see you here. Anyone else here, please say hi in the chat. But the process here is one of awareness more than anything else, and being able to reflect over time, because things will become clearer over time. The retrograde phase then ends on the 28th of March, and then Mercury's shadow phase continues until the 16th of April. And that's where things will really start to become a bit clearer. So you can't preempt this process. You can't presume this process. I'm going through today to give us a look at what kind of stuff we're going to be working with throughout this time. And please come back to this video throughout this retrograde phase and see how you're doing. See what you're working with. Remind yourself what you're working with. You may be a little tense or anxious at the moment. So I'm going to ask anyone watching, whenever you're watching, just take the time now to sit down, sit back or lie back, relax. Breathe in really, really deeply, all the way down, further than you normally would, all the way down into your stomach. And hold for the count of 3. And then release. Breathe out. Let everything go. All the thoughts and emotions, these are all potentially judgments that you don't need with you at this time. Allow those to go for this time. Take another deep breath in, deep in through your nose. Hold 1, 2, 3, and push out and let it all go really hard as you breathe out. Let it all go out into the earth. Release it. You don't need it with you at this time. Take one more deep breath in. Feel yourself relax as you breathe out. Hi, Trisha. And just take the time now just to get in touch with what the feelings are within your body. So feel your body. Recognize the feeling. Don't apply a thought or an emotion to it. Don't apply a judgment to your feelings at this time. Have an awareness of them and allow them to be. Your feelings are going to be your guides at this time, and you'll start to get ideas as time goes on. But what you can't do is prejudge your feelings throughout this, because we're moving into a period of reflection. It's not an active time. I'm going to start to pull cards in a moment to give us an idea of where we're at as a collective, and then I'll be running through the 12 signs. But remember, this is a time to be kind to yourself and not to judge any feelings that you're having. There is a lot of old stuff that is coming up to be reflected on and released at this time so as we can move into a new cycle. It's not always that comfortable, but it's necessary work. But the old belief patterns, the old thought patterns don't apply necessarily. So don't judge what your feelings are telling you. Just be aware of the deeper feeling. Don't jump to the emotion that you might normally do, that you might associate with that. So I'm going to start off by pulling some cards for the collective and get a sense of what the grand picture is across all of us, and then I'll move on to the 12 signs. For the collective, I'm going to be using the Oculi Occultati Tarot. It's a time to be kind to ourselves as well. Don't forget that. There's work to be done, but we do it by being kind to ourselves and not judging ourselves. So cards for the collective for Mercury retrograde in Pisces 2019. Remember, everyone, these are going to be predictive readings. So allow this to develop over the course of the month. Okay, let me see where the collective is at this time. It's a change in cycles, everyone. It's a change in phases. It may not be that comfortable, but it's going to help us so much. We're in this place at this time. It's a sunset and then a sunrise. And allowing the sun to set is hugely important. And that means giving yourself recognition of how far you've come, how you've risen to the occasion. We've risen collectively. You deserve credit for that. If you want to apply any judgment at all, you can apply that judgment. Our first card collectively is the World. It's the end of a cycle. It's the end of a phase. It's completion. We have done fantastically well. We have learned so much about ourselves and what we're capable of in this time. So reflect on the past few months. Look at the strides you've made forwards, the things you've changed in your life, what you've brought in, what you've removed. And now we move on and that process moves forward. Our second card is the Sun. It's the Sun. We've emerged from something. We've all emerged from something. And the danger is that we might try and not realize we've emerged it or dive back into it, but we don't need to because it's been completed. It's gone. We are releasing at this time. A lot of that can be buried now. We can do the work to release it, to transmute it. This isn't always comfortable as a process, but it's going to free us up so much. We are coming from judgment. We have all done exceptionally well. We have stood up and been counted. We have stepped forward. We have allowed ourselves to make the changes within our lives. And now we need to accept that we've made those changes and not just go back to what we've let go of. These things get released in layers. So there's some stuff you've been released, and then you may just get feelings that indicate a bit of that left. Be aware of that. It doesn't mean that you haven't moved forward. It doesn't mean that you're reverting. It means there's just a bit more to be released. Something else that's embedded, that was in quite deep, but you can let it go. It's not always comfortable when that happens. The Three of Swords comes up in our present, and with the Three of Swords, we may A lot of us may be feeling in this place, looking downwards, looking inwards. Our thoughts may be tricking us in this sense. If we feel hurt, we feel hurt. But that doesn't mean that the thing that's hurt us is current. This is old, and we are processing and reflecting on it, changing our relationship to it in order to release it. This is the process. This is the karmic cycle that we're going through, but it allows us to free ourselves up from all of that. And this moves us to the most fantastically open place. As this retrograde goes on, as Mercury moves direct from the 28th of March and then clears the shadow phase on the 16th of April, we can feel amazing. With the Ace of Cups, we are freeing ourselves from attachments to the way that we viewed our past, our hurts, the things that haven't worked, the things that don't work anymore, even though once they were quite critical to our lives. We are freeing ourselves, and up we rise, we emerge, and we've got the gold, and we can share that with everyone else. We can look out for each other. We can move into this more compassionate space, and we'll need to show compassion throughout this cycle. That's hugely, hugely important. We need to support each other through this. But we support each other by reminding each other how far we've moved, how far we've come. We allow ourselves to reflect on that and on what still clings on, but what we can be releasing now and letting go at this time. We are right there, and we can show that love and warmth and affection to each other with the sun. We all have that within us. We can all guide each other, help each other to navigate through this. Yes, there's a personal process, but the understanding and the compassion that we can all share with each other is going to be so crucial to us at this time. Energetically, it's lively and it's bumpy, and I can't pretend it's not bumpy, and that's why we can't draw conclusions, because what's there 1 minute in our minds is gone the next, for good or for bad, but those are transient. So we observe them, we're aware of them, and we let them go, and we understand our feelings. Over time, the picture builds up of what that means. I hope that makes sense for all of us as a collective. I'm going to start to pull cards for the 12 signs now. Hi, Cielo. So that's the picture for the collective at this time. And now I'm going to give us an idea of what we're working through as each of the signs, each of the archetypes. And obviously, where Pisces is in your chart determines where the retrograde is going to affect you the most. If you have placement between 16 and 29 degrees in Pisces or any other mutable sign, so that can be Gemini, it can be Virgo, it can be Sagittarius, you might feel that a little more. You might feel a little more of that. Everyone's going to feel it to an extent because it's in the final degree of the zodiac. That's why I'm doing this video. And obviously, normal Mercury retrograde rules apply. So yes, there may be miscommunications, there may be delays. It's not a good time to make big agreements, to make big decisions, because it's a reflective phase. But remember to look out for each other in this time. Draw no assumptions, just stay aware. So Aries, first of all, Aries for this Mercury retrograde in Pisces, March 2019. Aries. And for the signs, I'm going to be using the Deviant Moon Tarot, which I received last night. So I'm literally only just starting using it. And I'm interested to see how this fits with the energy at this time, because it is a reflective time, everyone. Aries. Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Aries. Aries. Okay, Aries, your reflective phase for this Mercury retrograde. Let's take a look at what you're dealing with. I don't feel like it's a bad thing at all for you. I feel that for you, you have to just be very gentle with yourself. Allow yourself to flow through your emotions. But what you do is you retain the control. That means that you don't react to them. Very important not to react to them. So you're aware of your feelings, but your feelings are not going to drive action at this time, Aries. Your first card is the Emperor, which is your card. So this is your focus. This is your starting point, Aries. What you can control, and what you can control is not reacting. It's having the awareness, being comfortable in yourself and in what you've achieved, Aries. This is very, very crucial to you. That's going to allow you to flow into this, because that knowledge then of who you are and what you've accomplished allows you to do that. You don't need to be an empress at this time. You don't need to be more outgoing than you're capable of. If you're struggling, you can admit to being struggling. But when you're feeling good, you can admit to being good as well. This is crucial though. For you, Aries, the focus is on the solid and on the material in that sense. So the things that are certain, that you've set up for yourself, you can rely on those. The things that are more hazy, more difficult, those are not your focus at this time. With the Six of Wands, Aries, you are in this fantastic place to recognize your successes, your victories, the things that you've brought up, that you've achieved. And you can be a role model to other people in relation to that as well. There's going to be some exploration of yourself, but you're doing so you, because you don't have to apply pressure. You don't have to apply pressure. And not applying pressure is what is going to allow you to be able to assert yourself again when Mercury moves direct, because you'll be so much clearer, so much more healed, Aries. It's not an easy time, but what it is something that you don't need to apply pressure to or fight against. You're coming in from a strong place with the Six of Wands. This is powerful for you, Aries, okay? You don't need to feel under threat. I feel that with some of you, your feelings may get on top of you and then you start to move into a defensive phase, Aries, but you don't need to. You don't need to, because the threat isn't really there at this time. Beware of your mind playing tricks on you and return to your accomplishments, because you emerge from this phase as the King of Wands. You emerge from this phase powerful and able to set the agenda and to move forward. But you get through it by allowing yourself to flow and drift through your feelings that over time are going to give you that understanding, Aries. Very, very gentle with yourself throughout this retrograde phase. Remember to draw strength from what you've achieved. I hope that makes sense to you at this time, Aries. The next sign is going to be Taurus. Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. For Mercury retrograde in Pisces 2019. Remember, Allow yourself to feel yourself. Don't apply judgment at this time. We've moved away from the phase of needing to do that. Allow yourself to admit your feelings. Be aware of them, but don't rush to emotion or thought in relation to them, because this will become clear over time. Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising for Mercury retrograde in Pisces 2019. Taurus, Taurus, Taurus. Hi, Naomi. Hi, Vicky. Taurus. Taurus. Okay, Taurus. Let me see what you're dealing with, Taurus. Okay, Taurus. You're in a more stable place than you might think, Taurus, or than you might have told yourself that you are. This isn't bad at all. I feel like some of you may go out and look at what's in front of you and instantly turn away. And this may relate to your feelings as well. You get a feeling and you turn away because you're scared of it. But that's a reaction, Taurus. And when you come back to it, I feel like you're going to find that it's not as severe as that. There's something good there, something that you can draw on. And that's going to become clearer over the course of this. Your first card is the Knight of Pentacles. So you kind of have an idea of what you want to do. You kind of want to act. And then when things are a little bit not what you'd expected, then that becomes difficult for you. And you might sort of lose focus, lose ground, and give yourself a hard time for losing ground. But it's okay to be a bit slower at this time. Things don't have to go full speed ahead at this time, Taurus. You're coming from a strong position. And I feel that the connections you've built in your life, the friendships or your partners, those dear to you, those who you've become close to, are key at strengthening you and helping you through this with the Four of Wands. You have a safe place to return to. You have safe people to return to. When things become a bit much, you can do that. And you can rest up for a bit and then go and look again. You're in a strong place, and it's an independent place with the Nine of Pentacles. But the sense that I get is that you may try and do it all alone. You may try and do it all alone, and there's no need to do it all alone. There's a danger for you, Taurus, in getting all up in your thoughts. Getting all up in your thoughts and not allowing things to just wash over you. And this might make you distrustful. It might make you guarded. It might make you feel that you have to work through all of this stuff really, really quickly when you don't. You absolutely don't, Taurus. You are going to be working through this over time. With the Seven of Swords, You are apprehensive about a lot of this stuff, and you are attempting to swallow or digest those thoughts and ideas really, really quickly without stopping to reflect on whether or not they even apply. You might be giving yourself quite a hard time. You might be quite distrustful of yourself, but you don't need to be. You are in such a strong place, Taurus, but you have to give yourself credit for it. It's not going to be that bad, but you have to avoid those reactions, those initial thoughts, those initial impulses, and allow this to be smoother. Because you're going to move out of this and you're going to move into action. You're going to have a clear idea of what you do next then. A clear idea. At the moment, you're in this Knight of Pentacles place in your conscious mind. But you need to allow that to shift a bit. That's a little inflexible. And that's going to shift over the course of this. And that's why you don't need to make any commitments or rush judgments at this time. Because working through this stuff, dealing with your feelings, any distrust issues, negative thought patterns, anything like this, which are real, but which you're reflecting on, is going to make you much clearer and more easy to move faster towards the end of this period with the Knight of Wands. You're going to be so much more in control by then, but you're only going to get in control by going into your feelings, by allowing yourself not to turn away from what's there, and by reminding yourself that there is support around you that you can turn to because you've brought that into your life. You've built that for yourself. You're in this strong place. None of this is comfortable or easy for anyone at this time, but you are going to become so much freer from doing that work, Taurus. I really hope that makes sense to you. The next sign is going to be Gemini. And yes, if you're watching, please like the video, please share the video, please comment on the video. All of that helps. Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. For Mercury retrograde in Pisces 2019. Gemini. Gemini. Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Gemini. 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 Okay, Gemini. Hi, Queen Potato. Okay, Gemini, so you're going to be okay at this time. There's confidence within you, but it feels a slightly fragile confidence, and it's fragile for one reason only, and that's if you get all up in your thoughts, start to draw conclusions, start to revert to thinking back to the past, to the things that have gone, and not doing the work to release them at this time. Your first card, Gemini, is the Nine of Swords. So that's only going to be a danger for you if you stay in your thoughts. Okay? Very, very important. You have stuff to reflect on, but it's reflection, Gemini. So there's old stuff there, but you're reflecting on it. You're not attaching to it. This is important. This isn't there to add to the strain on you. It's there to lighten the strain on you. So when you get a few anxieties that start to block your confidence or blunt your confidence, stay aware of them, stay with your process. But those are not then there to tell you that you haven't moved to where you have. You have. That's old stuff that you're working through and reflecting on and releasing at this time, Gemini. It doesn't have to add to the strain on you with the 10 of Wands. It absolutely doesn't. But also, nor do you have to do this all yourself. And I feel like some Geminis are going to feel, I have to do this all myself. It's all down to me. I can't ask for help. But you absolutely can. It's vital for you to be in company during this time. It's vital for you to be in company to allow you to feel freer, to allow you to feel lighter. So the step for you to work on is the 3 of Cups. Don't isolate yourself, Gemini. Don't isolate yourself, because you are able to make each other feel so much better. This will help you to get out of your head. Important to get out of your head. Doesn't mean you don't do the work, but you have to balance it, Gemini. You need your friends and your loved ones around you. You need that release. You're prone to overthinking. That's why you need that release. You need to have a good time during this period. It's not all misery. It's not all work, work, work. It's just awareness of that work going on in the background, Gemini. Your advice is the Hierophant. So wisdom is crucial at this time. Applying wisdom to what you're dealing with. And the main wisdom is not making judgments, Gemini, because you don't know what this all means yet. You're reflecting to reach that stage, okay? You're reflecting to reach that stage in order that you can feel more able to assert yourself on your life and doing the things that you need to coming out of this phase. Your final card coming up is the 5 of Wands, and this does not have to be a bad thing at all. I feel like this work, as you work through it, is going to mean that you're less conflicted, Gemini. At the moment, I feel that you're confident and there's stuff that you want to do, and then the thoughts get on top of you and you sort of go, and it's awful, I can't do it, I've fallen all this way back, but you haven't. That's your internal conflict, Gemini. It's an internal conflict that you are going to be resolving, and you're going to resolve it through the awareness, through applying wisdom, through learning from what's coming through and reflecting and releasing. And during this process, reach out and connect to those who are important to you, Gemini, because you're going to be so confident coming out of this. You absolutely are. But it's your internal conflicts that you're getting rid of. You don't have to do it all alone. Hugely important. Not an easy energy to work with, but you absolutely don't have to do it all alone. There absolutely is support around you. And there are people you can reach out to for wisdom and guidance if necessary. But stay with your own process. Don't judge it. With everybody watching, do not judge the feelings that you're having. Do not judge the thoughts that they give rise to. Stay aware of them and don't feel you have to go through it alone. I hope that makes sense to you. Hi, Ladybug. That was Gemini, and next up is going to be Cancer. Remember, everyone, these are predictive readings. This is your process. This is your process until Mercury moves direct on the 28th of March. And to an extent, it's your process until Mercury clears the shadow phase on the 16th of April. Don't get caught up in it. Cancer. And remember, for all of us, in the midst of it, it's painful. We might look inwardly, but reflect and remind yourselves what you've achieved, of the warmth that you're completing these cycles, what you've risen to. And it leads us to this wonderful, wonderful space where we can be so much happier and freer with the Ace of Cups. Cancer, Sun, Moon and Rising. Mercury retrograde in Pisces 2019. Cancer. 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 Okay, Cancer. Interesting for you, Cancer. Okay. So the first thing for you that I want to say is that don't be judging other people during this time, Cancer. Some of you may have that tendency where you're looking around and you can't quite believe what other people are doing, how they're acting, and you might be moving towards judgment. Avoid that, Cancer. Avoid that. You're going to be feeling deeply at this time as well, because that's what you do. But for you, this is about the star. You're being guided, you're being helped. And if you start judging other people from where they're at, then it's much more difficult for them to help you. And it's much more difficult for help to come in from elsewhere. So when I said don't be up in your thoughts, I don't feel like you should be totally overthinking or anything else at this time, but stay in a place of awareness. Stay in a place of awareness regarding your thoughts, Cancer. It's not a time for action or to be bold or to be stirring things up with other people, Cancer. And I feel that with some of you, you might be moving towards that, and that would be a reaction. That's not what's called for. So it's not a time to be a Page of Wands. It's also therefore not a time to be overly communicative, giving your opinion on every little thing. That's not what's called for, Cancer. But nor does this have to be too difficult for you, nor do you have to feel like you're balancing. Allow yourself to feel and to reflect, but don't get caught up too much. With the Hierophant, draw on what you've learned. Draw on what you've learned and notice and reflect on what you're learning at the moment, but don't draw conclusions too early. Don't draw conclusions too early, because your own distrust of other people or your potential rush to judgment of other people may throw you off course and out of alignment, Cancer. With the Seven of Swords, be wary of that, and be wary of what you're telling yourself. what you're feeding yourself, whether you're applying judgment to yourself or other people, that's something you need to avoid, because be very, very wary of what you're feeding yourself at this time, Cancer. Not necessarily good medicine. Slow, 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 and just allow yourself to notice what's happening and to be slowly guided in the direction that you need to be heading in, Cancer. Nice and gentle with yourself and with everyone else. And if necessary, you can offer a bit of hope and direction for other people as you move through your process. But that doesn't mean judging them or giving them orders. It means staying with your own process, Cancer, your own wisdom, because you are in a wise place here. This leads you to things really opening up, potentially, with the Wheel of Fortune, Cancer. Very, very encouraging future for you. So phases are completing, and you're completing, you're stepping into this wisdom. The only danger is when you start judging yourself or start trying to force things. Allow yourself to float through this process. Remain aware, reflect, allow what is old to leave your life, because that's going to give the universe space to bring something correct in for you. And the way you handle this is going to help to determine what then comes in for you, and that you're ready for those fated encounters and experiences that are coming your way in the future, Cancer. That's where you're heading towards. So you're in a preparation phase. Your reflection phase prepares you. You have the wisdom, and your job is to learn from this, simply to learn from this. You're becoming wiser. You don't know it all already, but you're going to become wiser throughout this phase, Cancer. And then things will start to come in very, very suddenly with the Wheel of Fortune as you move out of this phase. But you have to avoid, therefore, any rushes to judgment or action or taking things personally at this time, Cancer. I hope that makes sense to you. Coming up next is going to be Leo. Gentle with yourselves and gentle with everyone around you, everyone. Leo. Leo, Sun, Moon and Rising for Mercury Retrograde 2019 in Pisces, March 2019. Leo. Leo. Leo, Sun, Moon and Rising. Leo. Leo. Okay. Okay, Leo. Okay. Be kind to yourself and focus on what you've achieved, Leo. Focus on what you've achieved, because things are not necessarily what you're presuming they are. I feel like some of you, Leo, at this time are having to be a little closed off. And you might not feel you want to be, but you can't give yourself a hard time if you need to retreat, if you need to rest. It's a reflection period, Leo, okay? You're in a strong place. With the King of Pentacles, you're in a strong place. You've built a lot. You've achieved a lot. It's solid. That is not going to go away. What you're releasing is older than that, Leo. Now, with that, I feel that some of you, Leo, are connecting to an earth sign during this month. Understanding who you are in relation to them. And this could be a romantic, I'm feeling it in the heart. This could be a romantic thing, but it could be friends. It could be family members who are earth signs. So that is going to be Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, sun, moon, or rising. And I feel like you want to connect to them, but you can't quite allow yourself to. There's like this barrier in front of your heart. And you don't quite understand where that's coming from. So you're reflecting on that. What holds you back? Don't rush to a judgment or a decision over that, Leo. Allow it to come over time as you reflect throughout this period and as you allow yourself to release whatever is there from the old, Leo. You don't need to be in a 7 of Cups place, Leo. You don't need to be what if-ing. Okay? Your feelings will not be clear at this time, but that's okay. That's becoming clear over time, Leo. So you'll get there. You'll absolutely get there over time. With the 10, I think. Yeah, with the 10 of Pentacles, focus on those connections that are already in place. Build them, strengthen them. Even if you're not quite feeling it, work with those gently, because you're going to be getting there. Your advice, Leo, is strength. No, your advice is death. Excuse me. Your advice is death. The old is going. What you're being held back from, or by, rather, I feel are old patterns, old ways of doing things, things that you've mostly worked through, that have mostly been released. And yet, you're not quite allowing them to go, but you need to allow those to go, Leo, so as you can transform and become more open. You are going to become very successful, very able to move, very able to do all kinds of things, Leo. Not if you rush to judgments, not if you blame yourself, not if you assume that because you've only ever been able to relate to people in a certain way, that it continues that way, Leo, because it doesn't have to. It doesn't have to. With death, you're actually transforming through this, even if you can't see that. Just be aware of that process, Leo. Be aware of that process. Be aware that you are solid in what you've built. But what is going to shift is how you relate to people. It moves you to a place of the 6 of Wands, Leo. You're going to be more able to deal, more able to shine your own light and to show light and warmth to others in a much deeper way. And you might not feel you can at this time, Leo, but that is going to come. It's going to develop. Those barriers will come down over this period of time, but you have to allow them. You have to stay with that process, Leo. That is going to help you. Not easy to do. And it may hurt that you can't connect as much as you want to at this time. Return to the material. Trust that people accept and value you for the amount that you are able to connect. And don't rush to any conclusions or decisions. Okay? The picture is not clear yet. The picture is not clear yet. But it will be, Leo. It will be. I hope that makes sense to you. Coming up next is going to be Virgo. 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 Virgo, sun, moon, and rising. For Mercury retrograde in Pisces, March 2019. Virgo. 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 It's not really a time warp, Vicky. It's reflection on what we've achieved, on what we've let go, on how far we've come, and then understanding from there, if you like. So nobody is reverting, and if you feel you're reverting, you're not. You're absolutely not. You've moved on to a new phase. All of us have moved on to a new phase. Those things have completed, everyone. We have grown. We've all grown. Don't allow yourself to be tricked into feeling that you're going backwards, because you're not. None of us is. We're going forwards. Virgo. Virgo. Okay, Virgo, similar card showing up for you, and this gives us an idea, I feel, of a pattern that's going on here as well. So, again, you're in a strong place with your work, with your projects. You're the King of Pentacles, Virgo. That's who you are. Now, you're not going to be starting new things. This is about valuing what you've built for yourself and continuing that with the King of Pentacles. What you don't need to do is be a Knight of Pentacles. So you don't have to start overthinking this stuff. You have to start reviewing what you've completed, what's already in place, what's solid, that's there for you. You don't have to worry about that, Virgo. You've made that progress. You've made that progress. And over time, you'll know where you go next. But you're not going to be brainstorming, coming up with new ideas and going after things at this time. Hugely important. With the Nine of Pentacles, you're in this stable place, Virgo. You're in this stable place. You're independent. You can rely on yourself at this time, Virgo. You're in a very powerful place. You are supporting yourself here. You can trust yourself. And you can trust yourself exactly where you are and allow that reflective process to take place. That's new for some of you, Virgo. That's new for some of you, and some of the old may try to trick you. But anytime those old voices or ideas start to come up at you, start to tell you haven't moved even though you have, criticize you, that inner critic, Virgo, you stamp on that. With death, you stamp on that because you're not there anymore. You're not that person anymore. You're so far beyond that. So that you don't have to worry about. Look how much more powerful you are than that. It goes, Virgo. So be aware when that process is happening. Be aware when stuff from the past, old thought patterns start to come up, and stamp on them. Stamp on them and draw strength from what you've built for yourself. Draw strength from your independence. And you can be so independent with the 9 of Pentacles, Virgo. You're in this unbelievably strong place if you allow yourself to be. Where this leads you is a position of the King of Swords. The wisdom, the knowledge that you are accumulating through this process is going to make you so sharp and so decisive coming out of it. But what's important is that you don't try and short circuit or preempt that process and start making big decisions now. You will make them as Mercury moves direct and clears the shadow phase. Don't do that now. Stay in the material, in the here and now. Because any rush to judgment or decision at this time is also, that's a trap. You stamp on that as well, Virgo. You're going to be absolutely fine coming out of this. But for now, all about what you've achieved. All about what you've achieved. All about what you can rely on. That is going to guide you through that. You absolutely don't need to be coming up with anything new right now. I hope that makes sense for you. The next sign is going to be Libra. 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 Sun, moon, and rising for Mercury retrograde in Pisces 2019. Excuse me. Libra. Libra. Halfway through the signs, if you're here, please like the video, please share the video, please comment on the video. Libra. Libra. Okay, Libra. Okay, Libra. So it's kind of like this. You're drawing conclusions. You're drawing early conclusions. You're drawing early conclusions about other people in relation to you, but you don't have all the information yet. And nor, excuse me, nor do you, can you grab that information. It's going to come to you over time. You're going to understand more over time, but you can't rush the conclusions and judgments, especially about your relationships to other people and who they are in relation to you, what they think and feel in relation to you. You cannot rush that, Libra, because you will draw conclusions and you will draw the wrong ones. And that will hurt you, and there's no need for it. Your first card is the 3 of Wands. These are growing, Libra. They're developing, but they haven't bloomed yet. Give this time. Give all of this time, okay? It's going to reflect something, but you don't know what it is yet. Overthinking it a bit. And there's no need. It's just going to take a bit longer, okay? That's going to become clearer over time, Libra. You have to allow that process to happen over time. And you can still invest in those people and those relationships incidentally. It's not a two of wands, okay? You're not having to relay the ground. You're not having to start again. You're not having to go at things fresh. You don't have to cut and run and start new relationships at this time, Libra, on any level. Because these haven't had a chance to develop, the ones that you're in yet. Okay? Now you have an important role to play with those people around you, those people who may be struggling. Okay, Libra? You're in a place to do this. You're in a place to help. And it gets you out of your head as well. So here's your job, Libra. Whilst waiting for that to come through, whilst reflecting, you're going to improve these relationships, Libra. With the King of Wands, you are going to bring light and warmth into their lives at this time, Libra. You think those flowers are going to bloom without light and warmth? They're not. So you go and offer that, Libra. You offer light and warmth to those people at this time. Bit of responsibility for you. Not just defining yourself by the other's behavior, but by working on your own behavior, by improving things in that way, by staying in a position of strength and warmth and knowing what you've achieved and what you can bring to them, Libra, because you offer a huge amount to them as the King of Wands, Libra. With this, we have the Eight of Pentacles. Stay at it. Keep on with the work, even if you can't see the final results yet, Libra. Keep on doing that work. Keep on doing what you're doing. Keep on putting into those connections to friends, to potential partners, to current partners, to loved ones, to family members. Keep putting in. What you're learning here, Libra, you're learning a degree of resilience, a degree of independence, an ability to not get flighty because you're not seeing instant results, an ability to not just read things too quickly into situations and want to go away and do something else, Libra. You head towards the Nine of Wands. Carry your own light, Libra. Carry your own light, even when things seem a bit dark. Carry your own light and offer that light to other people. You're going to be absolutely fine. But it's a good time to be putting into things without drawing conclusions about them and where they go to. I hope that makes sense to you, Libra. The next sign is going to be Scorpio. 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 Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising. Remember, it's true for Libra, it's true for everyone. We're going to emerge in the most beautiful way from this if we stay with the process. Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising. For Mercury retrograde in Pisces 2019. Scorpio. Okay, Scorpio. Scorpio. Okay, Scorpio. So, Scorpio, who else might be rushing to judgment about people and where they're at in their process over this Mercury retrograde? You may have a bit of a sharp tongue, Scorpio. You may be quick to cut people off or block them out. Now, it's one thing to guard yourself, to work on your own process, to work through things for yourself, to make decisions for yourself, and that's okay. But this can't then be about judging other people as well. You can guard yourself without doing that. This is not a time to be removing people from your life, Scorpio. So coming up for you, first of all, is the Ace of Swords. So you are keeping your focus forwards. Focus forwards, Scorpio. Reflect on what comes through, but focus forwards. Don't allow yourself to slip into the past. But you are not here to cut people away from you. The Eight of Cups. You're not here to reject people based on a reaction, based on something quick. When everyone's going through a difficult time and there may be harsh words, you're not here to fuel that, to give people more and more harsh words either. You need to be more sensitive than that. Okay? You need to strengthen your connections to people at this time, Scorpio, because they're not in your way. They're not going to obstruct your process. With the Four of Wands, you strengthen your connection to people at this time. And if things are getting a bit much, maybe you need a break. And I know people don't often say don't travel in Mercury retrograde. Obviously account for delays and whatever, but you might need to travel with the Six of Swords. You might need some time away, some time out, so as you don't start getting at people, because I feel if you do, you'll get at the wrong people. And you might ruin something that can be really, really good. Be especially careful with people you're dating, with partners at this time, Scorpio. Not a time for endings. You need to be sharp, but being sharp means being on top of your own bullshit. Not allowing yourself to be drawn into quick reactions. Because actually, as you work through this, I said some of you might need to travel, some of you just need to get more into yourself, get a greater insight. It's a reflective time. The Six of Swords is a very reflective card, Scorpio. Very reflective in a mercurial sense. I feel that if you can do that, love deepens for you, Scorpio. Love deepens for you and you can win someone's heart, or at least begin to. Or they can win yours. The Knight of Cups, coming out of this, you can move into this more romantic space. But you don't do it by putting up walls. You don't do it through harsh words. You do it through strengthening connections, through being supportive at this time, Scorpio. That is what is going to open things up for you. Don't rush to cut off, cut out, react, give something back if somebody's wound you up. Breathe, Scorpio. Even if you don't like what you're seeing, even if you film the judgment about it, you don't have to go with this like, ugh, I'm off, I'm out of here. There's no need, Scorpio. You can remove yourself from a situation without closing doors. Take care of yourself without closing doors, because this isn't about them. It's about you and how you develop and grow and reflect on where you're at, but where you're going as well, which can be somewhere absolutely beautiful. Taking a Four of Wands, moving to a Knight of Cups. That's beautiful, Scorpio, and all you need to do is allow yourself to work through that, not lash out, not close doors. I hope that makes sense to you. Coming up next is going to be Sagittarius. Hi, Asma. Sagittarius. Sag, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Remember, if things start to hurt, they may do for some people with the Three of Swords for the collective in the present. It's not to point the finger and be, it's your fault, it's your fault, it's your fault. That's because of them. I can't be around them. Not at this time. Reflect on what is being affected within you. It's part of your process. Sagittarius. Sagittarius. Sag, Sun, Moon, and Rising for Mercury retrograde in Pisces 2019. Okay, Sag. Okay, Sagittarius. You're not stuck, Sagittarius. First message for you. You're not stuck. It's not bad. You feel like it's bad, but it's not bad. Or rather, you think it's bad, but it's not. And your mind is playing tricks on you, and your feelings will tell you the truth. Your intuition will tell you the truth. And you need to be open to what you can receive on an intuitive and a psychic level at this time, Sagittarius. Get really into your feelings and trust that your feelings are going to guide you if you stay aware of them. Again, it's not fast action, but it's guidance flowing with it at this time, Sagittarius. Your first card is the Queen of Cups. And therefore, you may also have a water sign or a healer or a psychic who's able to help guide you through this. Because I feel like you've initiated some stuff and you've not seen results. And up in here, you're like, oh, it can't have worked. It can't have worked, so maybe I should do something else. Give up on this. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't feel like anything has failed, Sagittarius, because it hasn't. But reach out for guidance if needs be, but trust that your feelings that were guiding you in the first place are still going to guide you. It's not a Ten of Swords situation. That's your mind playing tricks. You're not stuck. The things that you've started are not hopeless. They're in progress, Sagittarius. Okay? Keep working on them. You have to work on them alone, probably. But there are people who will guide you through your feelings. They'll support you through your feelings if needs be. You may have to do a lot of work by yourself with the Nine of Pentacles, but keep at it. Keep at it because you're mastering this. For you, it's also reflection with the Six of Swords, which is like This is showing up because it's the most Mercury retrograde card that I know. You are gaining insight into yourself through working through this. But that's the process. You are gaining insight. Don't draw conclusions because you'll get them wrong. You'll get them wrong, Sagittarius. Hope is not lost. You are learning, reflecting, growing, mastering. Get into your feelings. Get into your feelings. Because what's going to happen then is that you become firmer in what you're doing. You'll become more confident in what you're doing. And that is going to feel amazing. It's going to make you feel more dynamic, Sagittarius. You like dynamism. You like being able to target things and go after them. For now, it's slow. It's pain. It's not painful. It's painstaking work. That's the word I'm looking for. It's painstaking work. And reflecting as you go, Sagittarius. Understanding why you have that drive to feel like something's a disaster, even though it's not. Where does that perfectionism come from? Where does that defeatism come from? Be aware of it. Don't react to it. Be aware of it. As this process continues, you're going to feel so much more powerful and more capable with the Queen of Wands, Sagittarius. Far more capable of attracting what you need, but also of having firm boundaries, knowing who you are, knowing what you stand in, where you're going. You're not there yet. That's the process. But you're going to get there, Sagittarius. You won't get there if you admit defeat and call off what you've started when there's no need to. Keep going. Keep going. Keep understanding. You are on this journey to understanding yourself, and your process is much, much deeper. You're going to be so much stronger with the Queen of Wands. You'll get even clearer on your feelings and on your insights with the Queen of Cups. And with the Ace of Cups, you're going to feel great at the end of that. That's where you head to. I hope that makes sense to you, Sagittarius. Coming up next is going to be Capricorn. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising for Mercury retrograde in Pisces 2019. Capricorn. Capricorn. Cappies. Capricorn. No one needs to be in timeout, Trisha. Remember, don't make it worse for yourself than it needs to be. Feel everything, but don't draw conclusions from it. Just work through that process. Capricorn. Okay, Capricorn. Okay, Capricorn. With 5 majors showing up for you. This is big. You got to work with this. And to be honest, you got to chill the fuck out. Seriously. Like, Oh my goodness, you're either running towards something or running away from something, but can you just slow down, Capricorn? Slow down. Enjoy where you're at. Oh my goodness, Capricorn, seriously. Because you're rushing into conclusions and they're not fully formed, Capricorn, okay? Oh my goodness. Look, your first card, Capricorn, is the Sun. You're in a good place, Capricorn. You are warm. You can show warmth to those around you. Other people around you are connecting to you. You're growing. You're being nourished, okay? Nothing to run away from. Nothing to run away from. And no need for the speed of movement. No need to force the issue with anyone. Allow yourself to be exactly where you're at, Capricorn. It's not about the Chariot, Capricorn. You don't have to force this, and you don't have to do it alone. Oh my goodness, there are people around you who will help. You need to stop seeing them as a threat or as rivals. That's part of your process. Allowing people to be around you, Capricorn. Allowing people to be around you. Allowing yourself to attract them to you by showing warmth, by showing love, by showing affection, Capricorn. You move into a space of the Empress, Capricorn. You still have boundaries and barriers like everyone else, but you're warmer, you're more accepting because you're more comfortable within yourself. I am comfortable within myself. I am comfortable with where I'm at. I've achieved so much. Can you repeat that, Capricorn? Can you accept that? Can you accept that? And there doesn't have to be this fast, okay? With the Queen of Swords coming up for you, I'm sorry, it's 4 mages, not 5. With the Queen of Swords coming up for you, don't be sharpening those daggers, Capricorn. Literally what they showed me right there. Don't be going down that road, Capricorn. Oh my goodness. See the bigger picture. See the bigger picture, Capricorn, with the Queen of Swords. Do not rush to any conclusions. Do not rush into a need to keep doing everything so fast, Capricorn. You don't need that with the Chariot, because with the Sun, you're right where you need to be. With the people you need to be, you're doing fine. If you can just allow yourself to feel more into that Empress energy, Capricorn. Be receptive to people and where they're at too. And trust and value yourself at this time, Capricorn. It is going to free you up. You are going to be free, really free, as we move out of the retrograde phase, Capricorn, because you know where you're going? Your final card is the Fool. You can be happier than that, Capricorn. You can be freer than that. But you're not going to be free if you start making decisions, preempting things. Bang, 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 bang. This has to go. This has to go. This has to go. That's not quite right. That's not quite right. I don't like them very much. Come on, Capricorn. You can do better than that. You can do so much better than that. Celebrate. Enjoy where you're at. Accept people for where they're at this time. None of it's easy for anyone. It's going to free you up, Capricorn. It's going to put a smile on your face. It totally is. Don't take it all so seriously. I hope that makes sense to you. That's your Mercury retrograde. That's where you're heading to. Coming up next is going to be Aquarius. Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. For Mercury retrograde in Pisces 2019. Hi, Deepa. Mercury retrograde in Pisces for Aquarius for March 2019. Aquarius. Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising. Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius. Very interesting picture for you, Aquarius. You might be feeling a little stubborn, Aquarius, or a need to be in control. Maybe you need to be more in control than you currently feel you are. Because you are drawing premature conclusions, Aquarius. And because what that might mean is that you draw the wrong conclusion about people around you or situations that you're in. This is not a time to start a new relationship, Aquarius. It's also not a time to end a relationship. Very important. It's a reflective phase. You're gathering information. You're not there yet. Your first card is the Seven of Cups. Things are not necessarily as they seem, and you don't have all the information yet, Aquarius. Well, it's not. It's the Ace of Wands. Not something brand new. It's not time yet, either to start or to finish something you don't know yet, Aquarius. You don't know yet. And if you jump to conclusions, you may get it wrong. Okay? Another Six of Swords. You're reflecting, Aquarius. You're learning. You're gaining insight into yourself, into your own patterns, into where they can lead you, into where this tendency is coming from, because you don't need to be in that tendency. As you allow things to develop over time, you'll understand more with the Six of Swords. It's going to lift you into a higher state of knowledge, understanding, and awareness, Aquarius. With this, enjoy yourself and the people around you. Connect to people. Really connect in this time. With the Three of Cups. That's going to help you. It's going to help you to stop being quite so in your head. It's going to help you to stop rushing to judgments, to conclusions, to doing things, because you don't need to. It'll bring you back down to earth and allow you to feel part of something. I feel like there's somebody who you might be interested in, but things aren't moving quite yet. And you want to rush to get them to start. Or there's someone you've been with for a while, and maybe things are complicated and you want to rush to stop that. Get to know them. Enjoy your company with them. Spend time with them as friends if needs be, and amongst other friends. There's no rush here. You don't know yet, but that's going to help. And I feel that if you do that, you're going to move forward either to this relationship being reinvigorated, if it's a current one, or it's going to move you to a place where what you're thinking about can become a reality. but not if you rush it, not if you're going too hard, not if you try and force it right now at the Ace of Wands. Give it some time. Allow things to become clear over time. You understand yourself better, you understand them better, and you understand each other better. That gives you Two of Cups, Aquarius. That gives you a Two of Cups. Huge potential, but not if you preempt it. It's going to take a little while, Aquarius. It's going to take a little while, but then that connection can be right there. Keep it joyful for now. Keep it light for now. Don't go in hard. You'll get the picture over time. And the picture over time can be this, Aquarius. Isn't that beautiful? All you got to do is bring it under control. That's your new beginning with the Ace of Cups. I hope that makes sense to you, Aquarius. And the final sign is going to be Pisces. And Pisces, Mercury is retrograde in your sign from Tuesday. So let me see what you're dealing with, Pisces. On the one hand, it's heavier for that reason. On the other hand, at least you know all about Piscean energies, Pisces. So let me see what that means for you. Pisces. Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising for Mercury retrograde in Pisces, March 2019. Okay, Pisces. Pisces. Okay, Pisces. So Pisces, your focus is strength. This is where you're at. You're in this place where you've dealt with so much already. In control, staying in that place of awareness, not letting things get back, not letting things get on top of you. Very important, and it's a skill that you're going to need. You have stuff to work through. It's not a time to be moving quickly with the Chariot, Pisces. Slowly, okay? Pausing, reflecting. That's where we're at. You see, if you move too quickly, you'll move the wrong way, and you'll move the wrong way because of your anxieties that you're still reflecting on and still releasing. Okay, Pisces? There's stuff for you to work through. There are fears for you to reflect on and work through, and those will be shown up during this Mercury retrograde. That's going to be an area of work for you. So the Nine of Swords shows up for you. The Nine of Swords shows up for you. So you have to face those fears, not in action, but through awareness and accepting they're there and being able to work through them. You can work through them by not avoiding them or hiding from them, Pisces. You shine a light on them with the sun. You accept them. You live with them. You reflect on where they're coming from. Allow other people to help you as well at this time, Pisces. And that's going to move you forward. It moves you forward to a place of the Seven of Swords. You see, at the moment you hide from these things. They come up and it's awful and you want to go and hide. You want to go and hide. And the message for you is no, No, don't hide. Accept your fears and anxieties. Reflect on where they come from. Stare them in the face. Because at the moment, they mean you're distrustful. Because you're hiding, you're distrustful of yourself and people around you. But people around you are going to support you. You don't have to be all alone with the Chariot at all. Yes, you've been working through strength to keep on top of them, but that's still sometimes through coping methods, Pisces. What you're going to learn is how to accept them for what they are. Reflect on them. And then they won't be such a threat. You can deal with them even when they come into your life, Pisces. That is the main picture for you. That's your main area of work throughout this Mercury retrograde. And I remind everybody watching, these are cycles completing, so the old stuff does not apply anymore. That's why we're able to release it and we're reflecting on that process. We have grown, we are being nourished with the sun, and the sun has shown up a lot today. In a strong place, that's going to help us through. Draw on that whenever you need to. We've all achieved so much, risen up to the next level with judgment. Yes, it's painful now. You might be feeling quite inward looking. It's Mercury retrograde, it's reflective. That happens. This is karmic stuff that we're working through and releasing, most of us, on some level. We do it by facing it, not by hiding from it, but we do it by awareness, not by action at this time. Because for all of us, it leads to a place of the Ace of Cups. Beauty, joy, release. Self-love, deeper connections to others, possibly new relationships, possibly reinvigorated relationships. But we move into a compassionate place as well. I hope that makes sense. That is all 12 signs. I have time to answer a couple of questions. If anyone has any, please pop them in the live chat. And obviously, this is a difficult time. I can work with you throughout this time. If you'd like to book a personal reading with me, all my details are in the box below. And obviously, I'll be putting up regular content throughout this time. But if you want the personal guidance, that's right. My details are right there. You can reach out and connect with me at any time. I'm very happy to make myself available. If my work helps you, please leave me a tip. My PayPal details are also below. If you'd like to follow me on Facebook and Instagram, please do so. You can sign up to my email list and receive free weekly tarot scopes as well. Please like the video. Please share the video. Please comment on the video. Please subscribe to my channel and enable notifications. So I have one question that's from Deepa. Deepa is saying, please, can you pick a card with my Gemini in relationships or not? Deepa, I'll pull cards for you. I'm not going to pull cards for somebody else and their personal life. But I'll pull cards to give you an idea of what you're dealing with on your side. Thank you, Teresa. That's really kind. Thank you, Nicole. Deepa, you're in a very judgmental place with the King of Swords. And your judgments may be on the money, but if your judgments are on the money, you have to act on them. You don't have to put yourself through situations that you're not comfortable with or that you don't like. You make a decision based on the information in front of you. Very, very important. Part of that is accepting what's the information that's in front of you, not second guessing Strength is there as what you don't have to do. You're not here to drag information out of other people. You go with what's in front of you. That means facing your fears and your anxieties with the 9 of Swords. That means accepting that you can't control other people and their situations with the 8 of Swords. You will learn stuff over time, but you form your judgments on what's in front of you. Moves you to a place of temperance where you can accept people for who they are and connect to them as who they are and not expect them to be anybody else. But you need to move out of this place of distrust. This is hugely important. I hope all of that makes sense to you, Deepa. Do I have any other questions coming up? And thank you so much to whoever just sent the donation through. That was wonderful and beautiful of you. Thank you. Means a huge amount to me. Okay, thank you everybody in that case for tuning in. I'm going to wish you a wonderful Sunday afternoon, evening or night, depending on where you are. Thank you all so much for your support. Remember, everyone, it's a reflective time. Reflect. Don't rush. Don't act. Don't judge. Reflect. I'm happy to connect with any of you at any time at all. Thank you all so much for being here. I'm sending love your way. I'm sending healing your way. I know some people are badly in need of that. Be kind to yourselves. Reach out to yourselves. Reach out to other people as well. The energy is not smooth for anyone at this time. So we either support each other through this, or it all gets much more difficult than it needs to be. We have to work with it. We don't get a choice in that. But if we do the work, look where we'll go. Isn't that wonderful? Don't forget to give yourself credit for all you've achieved as well. Have a great evening. I'll see you all again really soon. Thank you.